Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Thank you for this opportunity. I thought long and hard what to talk about in 5 to 7 minutes. And then I came across this saying, which basically a quote from a guy called Tom, which says, like, if you carry your childhood with you, you never get older. So I thought what I'll do today is spend 5 minutes talking about my childhood, especially from age 5 to age 10 when I was in Mumbai. So just to give you an introduction about the location, Mumbai. Mumbai is like the New York City of India. It's extremely cosmopolitan. You have people from different religious backgrounds and different languages come to the city. It's also the Hollywood of India because Bollywood is there, so you see a lot of actors and artists coming to that location. So while growing up, I grew up in this environment where there were people of different religious and cultural background. There's this funny story about this. 3 of my closest friends when I was growing up, they were of different backgrounds. So there was this Christian guy and Muslim guy. Muslim guy name was Asif, and Christian guy called Praveen. And I'm talking about like 1st grade to 5th grade, so I had absolutely no idea what religion was all about, right? So we used to sit together and have lunch. And as you know, Hindus are not supposed to eat beef, right? And then Muslims are not supposed to eat pork, but you don't know that. So we all 3 stood together and started sharing our lunch, right? I had like fish and eggs, and the Muslim guy had beef, and the Christian guy had pork. And we were all sharing our food together, and I came home today and said, I told my mom, you need to try our beef. Beef is so good. And mom was like, don't tell your grandmother about this. So this is kind of, just to set the background of Mumbai. So my school's name was St. John the Evangelist High School. It was a missionary school, and the father of the church, so there was a church and there was an old cemetery, and the father of the church was basically the principal of the school. And my memory about the father was he used to walk the corridors with a scale in his hand. So if he did anything wrong inside the classroom, the punishment was to go outside in the corridor. And the father used to spank us. He used to walk around the corridors, and all the people who had done wrong things used to stand in the corridor, and he used to spank us. You were like literally scared of him. The other thing I remember about the school was, as I mentioned, there was a church inside in the school space. And what we used to do is every day in the morning, we used to come like 15 minutes early. We used to get down and then go inside the church. And I don't know what attracted us so much as kids to the church, because the church was, it's very peaceful and, serene setting. So I remember that didn't matter because, as I said, we had like all different backgrounds and we had no idea. We all used to go inside the church and sit. And that's when the prayers used to happen, and then the classes used to start. So that was the ritual. The other thing I remember about the school vividly was this old cemetery. It was not used, and that was like our playground. So all kids used to play around. And right now, if you tell me to go to a cemetery, I'm like, you feel like a respect for that place, but at the same time, if you ask me to go at night, I will never go. Right? At kids, we had no idea. So that's a background about my school. The other thing I remember about that period was, though I was very young, I had my first crush when I was in 2nd grade. And it's funny, I still remember her name. Her name was Rochelle Rodriguez. I tried finding her on Facebook, and I couldn't find her. Actually, it's a funny story. I met the guy I was telling you about, who was a very close friend of mine. Yesterday, it was like after 19 years. But he was telling me she's there on Facebook, but anyway, I couldn't find her. Love at that time was basically, getting a seat beside her, right? That's what the definition of love was to me at that time. So I remember, like, whenever we used to go, like, get into a school bus, and there was this guy called Sabina, and I used to fight like cats and dogs to get a seat beside her. funny part was we had to wear uniform to school, which I don't think in schools here you have to wear a uniform. That's the other funny anecdote about school. The ritual for us while we were growing up is we had like schools in the morning, right, and then we had to come back home. The funny part is usually you think that, okay, you know, this kid has been in school, let him go and like play, right, and then come back and do the homework. It was exactly the opposite. We had to come back from school and like 2 hours were set aside to do our homework, and then we used to go out and play. And that's not only in my family. I think all the families in the neighborhood used to follow the same policy. The reason is if 4 o'clock, if my family imposes me to go sit and do my homework, and I hear all the kids playing in the neighborhood, I'm not going to do my homework, right? So there was this unwritten rule, like like all the kids used to come home. We spent like 2 hours doing our homework, and at 6 o'clock, suddenly the decibel level of the neighborhood used to just go up like crazy because all the kids are playing around. The other thing about Bombay was the monsoon season, rainy season. I had as a kid, right, you know, playing in the rain is one of the big things, right? And you know, we had this raincoats we used to wear, and I remember we had like puddles all over the place, and that was our, you know, the most fun part was like all, you know, kids, their hands locked together and jumping in the puddle. That was like one of our favorite activities to do during the rainy season. And the other thing we used to do is we used to wear this leather boots. And one of our favorite things was basically going out in the neighborhood, and we had like water clogged streets, going out in the neighborhood and catching crab and fish. That was our favorite pastime while growing up. I'm saying I just have a minute left, so just to summarize, I started out saying that if you carry your childhood with you, you never get older. And the reason I think that quote is so important is when we were growing up, we had zero inhibitions, right? We used to enjoy small things in life, and as we become adults, we forget that. And I hope that, you know, I can live my life as an adult, as a child, because I start appreciating small things in life. You know, like world will be such a better place for me. So, thank you.